Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Programming with a Purpose. This is the part 3 in the series of the Habit Tracker app. In this video, I'm going to show you how to add notifications to your tasks and interact with them, update the progress of each of the tasks on the UI. So let's get started. So here I'm updating the tasks file. Basically, I am adding the Swift data to it so that the data can become persistent. And I have added 3 of the attributes. One is an int array of days, and another is basically a count of total days, and another is a total days completed. The total days and total days completed values will help us to calculate the progress of a certain task, and days will help us to schedule it on certain days. Apart from that, I have changed the frequency type to basically a type of string, which is frequency type.raw value. This is basically to ensure that these values get saved inside the model of Swift data. Otherwise, it is going to give us an error. So here I am writing the function update progress inside the tasks file, which will help us to basically add one day to the total completed days, and after that the progress will be updated according to the formula total days completed divided by total number of days. Now I am fixing some of the errors that are caused due to the change in the tasks definition. So follow all these steps and fix these errors. Now after fixing all the errors, I have moved to the task creation view, where I have removed the variable tasks because we do not need it. We can directly basically update it using model context. I have added one of the variable count and days to basically get the days from the daily, weekly and monthly view. And then a selected time variable is added, which will help us to basically get the time at which we want to schedule the notification. And this is the environment variable model context. We can use it to basically update the already existing tasks and save it to the persistent memory. So now I am moving to the habit trackers app, where I have declared a model container for tasks.self. This is a necessary step, otherwise we will not be able to access the data from tasks. So for all the macros to work, we need to add this model container. Here I am adding a date picker that will help us to pick a certain time for the notification scheduling. Now here I am updating the definition for days view, which is used to create the daily view. So we have created a binding variable days, and we have basically going to pass the value of count from here to our main view. So basically it is checking if a day is not selected and it is selected at first, we are going to append it to days. Otherwise, if it is selected again, we are going to basically remove it from the days array. That is basically for the deselection mechanism. So here I fixed the error since I have removed tasks from task creation view. So I am commenting out this line tasks.append task, and I've added this line basically of inserting the task object inside the model context. Now the way I have updated the days view, in the same manner I'm going to update the day view, which is used to create our weekly view. It is a bit different in the sense that the weekdays can be arranged in the order of the day on which we have basically launched that view. Suppose today is Tuesday, I'm going to basically see Tuesday as the first day. So we need to find the index of the day on which it is basically launched. So for that we are going to get the day of the week formatter, and we are going to basically get the weekdays, the index of the day that correspond to this weekdays array. So after that we are going to get its index, and we are going to again perform the selection and deselection in the same manner as we have applied to the days view. So just this part of the code is different, in which we are going to get the index using the day name from our current date. So here I am updating the call to day view and days view inside the daily and weekly view in task creation view. Now I'm moving to the monthly view, which is basically correspond to our frequency of notifications on monthly basis. So I have updated it. I have added a binding array of days there, and we are simply adding the day, which is basically in the case of monthly going to correspond to the dates that we have scheduled our habit on. So basically it is going to do what? It is going to see that if the scheduled date falls on our current month, it is going to schedule for that. Otherwise it is not going to schedule it. We can also limit in the UI that we only displays the dates on which we can basically schedule the monthly view. This is just to remove extra complexity, but in actual case we cannot do this. We need to have basically a proper account of the incoming dates, and we are going to show it to the user depending upon our needs. So basically I have limited it based on my assumption that we can only schedule it for the month, and we can add for how many subsequent months we want to schedule it on. So we can add that inside the text field under this basically view. Besides the variable changes, I have made some of the changes to the UI, like reducing the cell size of the dates and reducing the size of the title of the month. This is due to the reason that since I have added a picker in the view as well, so this view will get basically quite big, and our buttons at the bottom will get hidden. So to avoid that, I have basically reduced some of the UI element size to adjust the view in a single frame, so that we do not need to add a scroll view. So I have updated the call to monthly view inside the task creation view, and now moving to the landing screen updation. In the progress bar, I have added three of the values: a variable total completed and a duration name, that is basically to print out a text that shows you how many tasks of the total are completed and what type of its nature is. Basically, they are daily, weekly, or monthly tasks. So for that purpose, I've added three variables, and I have created a vstack, encapsulated the image in it, and then I have added basically a task and added certain properties to it. So you can follow all these steps, and I'm going to show you how it's gonna look like on our UI. So the next step is basically updating the landing screen view, in which I have basically changed the tasks from @state to @query, which is going to basically query all the tasks that we have saved in our persistent storage. We have added a model context as well, and we need to add another import, which is basically Swift data. And I have changed basically the call to progress bar to add all the variables that we need to pass depending upon the task. So I have picked all of the values from tasks index and passed them to my progress bar to display it on the landing screen. Here I am adding another class with the name of notification manager to basically get the notification object as a shared object and then use its value inside the landing screen once we click on the notification. For that, I have created a function handle notifications, which is going to basically get the received notification inside a notification and a notification ID. How we are going to use it on the landing screen, I am going to show you in a few moments. For notifications to work, we have to basically use the class app delegate, which is going to extend UI responder, application delegate, and UN user notification center delegate. So in the function application did finish launching with options 1, I am going to basically check that if we have granted the permission for notification. So we need to request the notification and display the message according to a user's choice that were the notifications granted access or not. The next function that we are going to add to the app delegate is user notification did receive one, in which we are going to get the notification ID from response notification request identifier. And why a prefix 36 is selected, I am going to show you in a few moments. And after that, we are going to use the notification manager object that we have created previously inside app delegate to call the handle notification function and pass the relevant values to it. So here I have created a new class with the name of notification and created a function add notification, which is going to pass us the UN mutable notification content and date components, which is going to basically correspond to the date on which we are going to schedule our notification. So the first line you can see that I have commented is basically for the testing purposes, which I am going to show you how it's going to help us to basically check the progress functionality. So there is a trigger which is based on time interval 60 and repeats itself after every 60 seconds. And another is trigger, which is the actual code that we need to basically uncomment once we basically deploy this app, which is going to get the UN calendar notification trigger depending upon the date component that we have passed. After that, it is going to create a request and add that request to UN user notification center. The next function that we have added inside the class notification is basically a schedule notification, which is going to get a task for which we want to schedule the notification and the time of scheduling. And it is going to return us a total count of the days on which we are going to schedule that notification. So the first thing is content. We have set it the title and body depending upon the task, and a sound. After that, a date is basically we have calculated a date and we have got its components. We have also got hours and minutes from the time that we have passed to the schedule notification. We are going to set the date components of hours, minutes and seconds according to the components variable. And after that, we are going to iterate all of the days inside the task.days, and we are going to check the frequency. If the frequency is daily, we are going to basically iterate over the task.frequency, get the dates by incrementing that 0 to that value inside basically our date, and then check if it corresponds to the weekday that we have selected inside the daily view. And if it's true, we are going to schedule the notification on that day. Otherwise, we are not going to schedule it. And the next part is basically scheduling it for weekly and monthly basis. So what we are going to do is basically in the week we have multiplied the task dot frequency into 7, because obviously 1 or 2 weeks means 7 days. So we will iterate over the week depending upon the days. And then there is a third one, which is basically our monthly view, in which we are going to simply iterate the task frequency and just increment the month inside the date component, because it is going to be scheduled on all the dates inside the month that we have selected it for, and for the next month for which the count is set. So now moving back to the habits tracker app, I have added a UI application delegate adapter which is going to call the app delegate.self and a state object to access the notification manager inside the landing screen. So here I'm writing the code on the appearance of basically the landing screen. I have added some of the delay so that the tasks gets updated before we are going to render the view. So there is a notification we are going to get. If it's true, that it means that we have came here due to calling of a notification. I'm going to get the ID of the notification, and then I'm going to iterate all the tasks that we have queried using the iterate of query macro, and in that task I'm going to find the task that corresponds to this ID, and once I've got it, I'm going to update its progress, and then I'm going to basically insert this object back into my model context, which is going to update the already existing task depending upon the ID. So here I am updating the call in the task creation view to basically creation of the task. I have updated all the values here. And after that, I've got basically task.total days from the notification.schedule notification, which is going to basically schedule our notifications and pass a value to give us an idea of how many days it is going to be scheduled on. And then if it's less than or equal to 1, we are going to set it to the task.total days. There is a little discrepancy here which I'm going to fix in the next part of the video, and then a model context is used to basically insert that object inside our tasks. I've forgotten basically the variable that is to be returned by the schedule notification function, so return count here. So now I'm going to show you how the update progress function works and how it is basically displayed on the UI. For that, I'm going to select all the days, and then I'm going to schedule the notification. It is going to give me an error. This is due to the reason that I haven't initialized the progress value. So I'm going to set it to 0 inside the init method. Also, we need to basically set the UN user notification delegate to itself. So I am going to update the definition of application did finish launching with options inside the schedule notification file. So you have seen that I've scheduled it on all days, and once a notification is received, I'm going to click on it. You will see that the text completed 0 of like 7 tasks is updated on the first click, and on the second click on the notification, and the progress bar is updated according to it. Now I'm going to basically uncomment the line of date components, and I'm going to basically trigger it using the date component that I've passed inside the add notification function. So I have created another task with the name of stop smoking, and I have set the time just 1 minute after my current time and the current day and the next day. So once I click on the first notification, 0.5% of progress should be covered. So when a notification is received, you have seen that completed one of two tasks is updated, but the notification bar is not updated. There is a little glitch in it that it does not update the value on the first basically update of the progress. After all the subsequent progress updates, it is going to update the graph bar. So you can see that when I am going to basically click on it and launch the app again, it is going to update the value. So if you click on 2, 3, 4, 5 values, it is going to update this bar. Just there is a slight problem with updating the first value inside the graph. So this is all for this video. I hope you have enjoyed developing this app with me. So about 70 to 80% of the work is done for this app. There are a lot of small changes that we need to add before updating and uploading it to the App Store, like adding privacy policy, adding certain checks like the description of the task should never be nil, and then this progress issue that it does not get updated on the first click. Then we also need to test the weekly and monthly notifications that they are scheduled properly. So we need to find a way to basically test them in a short span of time. So for daily it's working. Most probably it will work for the weekly and monthly cases as well. I may add some of the UI changes and some of the functionality changes in the last part of this series if I find time. So this is all for this part of the series, and thank you for watching. Do not forget to like and share this video and subscribe to my channel.